right. Okay, so first, I would love to know how you got into singing and songwriting.
Well, it's a pretty loaded question, Kelsey, because I don't know how much time you have because I could talk for 2 days about this and
Okay.
and get through, the first year, or just kind of give you the first kind of the Coles notes about it. In reality, I think I related a lot to a kid coming up through the ranks in sport. Hockey, obviously, me being a Canadian. So it's like you start off, you're a novice, and then you go to Pee Wee, and then before you know it, you're in Bantam and then midget, and then you're junior, and then you kind of get drafted to the NHL and you see whether or not you can stay in the National Hockey League, and then you wind up making it. And so for me, in a lot of ways, I was just a little kid who loved to play, loved to sing. No one in my family ever played music at all. So
Oh,
the
wow.
fact that I played music was wild to everyone in my family. And I just never stopped playing. And I'm 31 years old and I'm still playing. So I'm pretty lucky.
Amazing. I was trying to follow along with the hockey metaphor. I'm like, yeah, okay, maybe that means like his first performance, but I followed along
Well,
sort of.
yeah. It's like coming up through the ranks of any sport. It just if you're a kid who loves to play ball and you're 7 years old and you're hitting home runs, and now you're 12 years old and you're hitting home runs, and now you're 15 and you're hitting home runs and you're winning a couple junior championships, and then all of a sudden someone from the I don't know, the Yankees gives you a call, or the Red Sox, or the Toronto Blue Jays, and says, "Hey kid, we think you're great, join the team." That was like when I signed my record deal. It's like making it to the major leagues.
Yes. So are you a sports fan too?
Yeah, about as big as it gets. I'm a big sports
Okay.
fan. Of course, a hockey guy. I mean, I
Mhm.
think if you're a Canadian and if you don't like hockey,
They
a
kick
part of
you
me
out.
is wondering, exactly, are you really Canadian?
No. Yeah, exactly. Well, cool. So you said no one in your family did music. So who were some of your musical influences?
Well, I mean, in the old school, guys like Johnny Cash in a big way. I love traditional country music and I still do. So Johnny Cash, Hank Snow, who was a great Canadian, the first Canadian to ever become a member of the Grand Ole Opry. Um, and then, 80s and 90s country was really big for me. George Strait, obviously, Brooks and Dunn. And then my hero, Garth Brooks, who I got to tour with and do, 20 some concerts with Garth. And I just feel really lucky that I've been able to learn and meet a lot of my heroes, and all of them have been amazing. So I've had a lot of great heroes that have been very influential in my career.
Yeah, what was working with Garth Brooks like?
I'll put it to you this way. If you were a boxer and you got to spend a month with Muhammad Ali and he got to teach you all there is to know about boxing, or if you were an actor and Robert De Niro says, "I've won all these Oscars, I'm going to teach you all there is to know about Hollywood and acting." That was the way that I felt spending time with Garth Brooks, who not only taught me how to entertain and not only taught me about everything on stage, but he taught me about the business, and I got to watch him and how he interacts with people. So all these shows that we did, honestly, every show was better than the next because of his level of kindness and just how amazing he was to me, to my family, and to my band and my crew.
Amazing. They say don't meet your heroes, but it's so nice when they turn out to be as awesome as you want them to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it's about that saying, but everyone that I've ever met has been amazing. Um, Everybody, George Strait was amazing. Everybody at this event was talking music with George Strait, but I know he's a cattle rancher. So I grew up on a cattle ranch. We still have cows on our farm, and I just decided I'm going to talk to him about cows. And then he talked to me for half an hour. We didn't talk about country music. We didn't talk about anything. We talked about cattle. And I'm like, I'm really grateful I met my hero. Everybody else, he was a little bit, I think he just didn't want to talk country music anymore with all these people at this cocktail reception. But I started talking to him about the price of beef. And then all of a sudden, it's like we formed a little mini friendship.
There you go. When in doubt, use the price of beef as an in. They always say that.
Exactly.
So congratulations on your single, Aint the Same. I've been bopping around to it in my kitchen, making dinner the past few days. I can already see it like at weddings or driving down the PCH with the windows down. It's awesome for that. So tell me a little bit about how it came to be.
I'm really proud of the song, and we wrote it a couple of years ago with two great friends of mine, Karen Kozowski, who has done some extraordinary work with Mickey Guyton in the past 2 years, as well as one of the greatest songwriters on Music Row, I'm convinced of it, Tim Nichols. And Tim wrote Live Like You Were Dying and all these, every second Tim McGraw, Kenny Chesney, Blake Shelton hit over the last 10 years. And getting together with the three of them, we really just talked about all the great things in life that are made even better when you've got the person that you love beside you. And how if you take that person away from you, it really ain't the same. And that instantly became our title. And we didn't spend much time on the song because it fell out. And sometimes you can write days for, a great song. Sometimes it'll take you all day and hours and hours. This one, I think we wrote it in 2 hours and we had a few cocktails and an early lunch. Like, that's how this song really presented itself to us. We feel very lucky that we got to tell the story. But then my manager pitched it to 98 Degrees because there was rumblings in the industry that they were going to do a country record. And so my manager said, here's a great song for it. And they loved it. But then when that country record idea kind of fell to the wayside, Nick Lachey and Jeff Timmons reached back out to my manager and said, we still love the song, but do you think Brett would actually like to do it with us? And Kelsey, I'm like, yeah, are you kidding me? You're wondering if I want to do it with you? Absolutely. So they put their vocals on it, and we had this song in a couple of days. It's the fastest collab that I've ever done.
Wow. Yeah, it adds so much. It sounds great, all of you. So what was it like working with them? 98 Degrees.
Well, in this day and age, in 2022, obviously, so much can be done virtually. So they did their vocals while they were in Vegas, and then just sent it back up to my producer in Canada and another one of my producers in Nashville. And we got the song tied up. But it wasn't until the music video that we really got a chance to hang out in LA. And these guys are obviously extremely famous. And there were, were paparazzi and cameras and fans, outside the studio waiting to hang out with, seeing they could catch a glimpse of Nick Lachey and the band. But they were the nicest guys. And like you said earlier, don't meet your heroes. There are a lot of people in the music business that, of course, I think I've both encountered that, give off this image that they're so great, but really they're kind of ornery and grumpy and grouchy. Well, not 98 Degrees. They're the four nicest guys maybe I've ever met in this business. And so I'm just really grateful that they said yes to doing this collab, and they, added their tender, sweet, silky, beautiful vocals to make this song even better.
Mm-hmm. And that they did.
That they did.
So can you tell me a little bit about the music video?
Yeah, I love music videos that have a twist. And if anybody spends time on my YouTube page, you'll know that a lot of my videos are very unique. And so Aint the Same was kind of a whole concept of me hanging out with 98 Degrees. And obviously they spent so much time in California, and they were showing me around LA. And all while I'm seeing the great sights of LA, like the Hollywood sign and going on a double-decker bus and all that great stuff, I'm FaceTiming my beautiful wife and my kids and saying, like, it's really great that I'm here, but it really ain't the same without them. And then we do a concert at the end of the video where we've got a sold out show at one of the great theaters in LA. And it says Brett Kissel, 98 Degrees, sold out and everything. And my wife and my kids end up surprising me at the show. So catching that footage is really special. And I think just lends itself for a really good, feel-good story.
Definitely. So I have to ask, have you watched any of Nick Lachey's Netflix shows, Love is Blind or The Ultimatum?
Oh yeah, I'm in the middle of Ultimatum right now with my wife, and I watched all of Love is Blind, which is such a unique show. But I mean, my wife and I were happily married, and we've been married now for 10 years. And it's so interesting to see what these couples are going through and what they're either going to make it through or not make it through. And, you know, we are no experts. All we are is all we have, and we have each other. And it's so interesting how there's a lot of communication breakdown between a lot of these couples, that if you like, be honest, just truly just say what's on your heart, or we can all see that this isn't going to work. So it's way easier to rip the Band-Aid off now than it would be, you know, when you're going down the aisle. So, but that's reality TV for you. And Nick Lachey is probably counting his money as he sees that it's the #1 show on Netflix in America. So I'm really proud of his success, and they are very unique shows.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, you and your wife sound like me and my boyfriend screaming at the TV, like, it's never gonna work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they're entertaining. So I know you're a happily married man. Is there a world where when you were single, you would have gone on a show like this?
No, not a chance at all.
Okay.
My wife says that she'd do really well if she went on The Bachelor, and I believe that she's just so kind and so beautiful that without question she'd have won the whole thing. She would have stole everybody's hearts. But all that being said, for me, one, I'm not handsome enough, and number two, I'm I'm just a country boy who likes to drive tractors and go fish and hunt deer and chase cows. Like that, I'm not an LA type. Don't get me wrong. I like to dress up every now and then and drink fine wine and eat nice dinners. But I mean, I'm a lot happier throwing on camo gear, hanging out with my buddies and drinking some of my Deuce vodka out of a red Solo cup. So I just don't think I'd be cut out for The Bachelor.
Okay, fair. Very fair. So is there a chance that you and 98 Degrees will work together in the future?
Absolutely. We're thinking about options and ideas where we can go out and we can actually play some live music together. You know, Canada is a little, you know, it's kind of a little backwards in terms of some of the protocols that we've now put in place to, you know, after the last 2 years. And there's a lot of areas of Canada that to a degree are kind of still in a bit of a lockdown, which is wild. And a lot of people wouldn't think that. So it's tough to make those plans about touring and getting, you know, any of the band up here. But all that being said, we know that we've got some great irons in the fire. And now that they've dipped their cowboy boots into the country music waters, I'm truly in a state of mind, and I believe that we're going to have some really great adventures ahead, playing some great shows. And I put it out there. I want these boys to debut on the Grand Ole Opry, because I think it'd be really cool to play this song on the Opry and give 98 Degrees their debut on that sacred circle.
So did you talk to them? I wonder why country, like why they are so curious about country all of a sudden.
Well, I'll kind of flip it on you, Kelsey, and I think to myself, well, why not country? Of course it should be country. You know, these guys are such great vocalists. They could do anything. I mean, they could truly rock out. I mean, they could do classical, they could do folk, they could do whatever they wanted. But country music is the most encompassing and I think accepting of all the genres. So you look at Pink and Kenny Chesney, you know, FGL and Backstreet Boys, BB Rexa and FGL. Back in the olden days, Ray Charles and Willie Nelson, Lionel Richie and Kenny Rogers. Whereas I think to myself, why not? And I'm really grateful that they did say yes. And I've dabbled in some very unique collabs over the years and got to do a great collab with Nelly on a song I wrote called She Drives Me Crazy. And that was a platinum hit for us up in Canada. So, I mean, I think it's really cool for me being the country guy to open up my umbrella and see how big it really is and invite everybody in from other genres to come and experience what country music has to offer.
Yeah, I love it. And they fit right in. They don't stick out in a bad way at all. They only add.
I
So
agree.
who would be like a dream collaboration in the future for you?
Well, I mean, if I could write a song and record it with Garth Brooks, or get a chance to sing some country music with George Strait, I mean, I would love that more than anything. But you know, my head has been going lately to Dolly Parton and how great it would be to collab with a true living icon and one of the last remaining mega stars. which I believe that's my criteria, or that's my explanation. You have stars, you have rising stars, then superstars, then mega stars. And I believe it would be really amazing to get to spend some time with Dolly Parton.
Oh yeah. And where do you think you are right now on that scale?
Whatever's below a rising star, that's probably where I'm at.
Okay. Still like getting to the minor leagues, major leagues, working your way up.
Yeah, especially in America, you know, like I'm grateful that I've had a great career in Canada, and I can't take away any of that success. Of course, I'm proud of it. But the United States country market is so amazing, and it's so huge and vast that there are a million artists. I swear to you, and you've probably interviewed 750,000 of them. And we've all got a story to tell. We're all chomping at the bit, you know, to just get our shot. And I feel grateful that at least I'm in the race. And these great collabs with guys like Nelly, or, you know, or getting a chance to tour with Brad Paisley, or record with Nick Lachey and 98 Degrees. At least I think it gives me a real good shot that we can make some noise south of the border.
So what is next for you?
Well, do you want to talk about family? Do you want to talk about hunting, fishing, cattle ranching, country music?
Which one do you
I
want
own
to
a vodka
talk about?
company.
Okay.
My God, like I'm an entrepreneur through and through. So I'm very proud of the success of our vodka company up here in Canada, and we're breaking into Southeast Asia, and we've got some really cool deals on the table to launch our product in the United States, which I think is going to be amazing. I'm a very busy dad and proud husband. My wife and I have been married for 10 years, coming up on 11 years. And we just had our 4th little baby 2 months ago.
Oh my goodness,
so,
congratulations.
Thank you. And so we're extremely busy as parents. And then my dad, you know, my brother and I, we bought some cropland and some farmland up where I grew up. And so we're getting back in the cattle business again. And so, you know, we've got, I don't know, 2,000-3,000 acres of farmland that we're going to be really busy with this summer. And then, oh yeah, I've got this thing called a country music career. So there's a lot on the go. And like I said, I just don't know how much time you have. It's probably best to just follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and you'll see what's going on.
Okay. So now time for my last and favorite question. What question do you wish I would have asked you today?
Oh, I'm so happy to just get a chance to talk about music. I mean, maybe, just maybe, if we could have talked a little more hockey as a Canadian.
I'm sorry, I can't do that for you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but here, we're supposed to talk about country music. You're giving everybody a behind the scenes look about my career. And my publicist is going to be watching this and it's going to say, you know, if it wasn't for Kelsey being such a professional, you probably wouldn't have even talked anything about country music. So Kelsey, I feel I probably wasn't the best interview. I think you did a great job. So
you were amazing.
Well, thank you.
Well, that's all I have for you. Unless there's anything you would like to add.
Nothing at all, Kelsey. I just want to say thank you very much for giving me some of your time, and, you know, giving me an opportunity to talk about a song I'm really proud of, and a collaboration with 98 Degrees. Just truly one of the most solid vocal groups I think that music in general has produced in past 50 years. I'm convinced of it.
Well, congratulations. It's a great
Thank you, Kelsey.
Love 98 Degrees.